what is something you wish more people knew?
Something I really wish more people knew, and not just knew, but practiced, is that to do more, you need to do less.
Most people probably think the opposite. They probably think that they need to be doing a lot more to be getting ahead.
That's exactly what I used to think for the first few decades of my life as well. The harder I work, the more hours I put in, the more things I check off on my to-do list. And don't get me wrong, I still have a pretty large to-do list, but the more I do those, the more productive I'm going to be. And it is really counterintuitive what ends up happening. This is backed up by science and research and my own experience working with the people I coach, and for me myself, that we need periods of fallow time in order to be fertile. In our imagination, in our production, in our productivity. And we are telling ourselves false tales. We are deceiving ourselves about how much we are getting done when we do something different.
So people, in trying to do more and get ahead, are actually holding themselves back from achieving their very best potential and performance.
In many ways, yes. Because are they really having the impact they want to have? Are they able to see the forest for the trees? Are they doing the things that most need to be done, the things that really matter and will move the needle? Or did they have a clean inbox at the end of the day?
So what are some of the things that are causing people to do this? If we maybe understand at the end, in a quiet moment, that in our quest for doing more, we're actually doing less, what are some of the drivers behind that mistaken approach?
This is perhaps the most crucial question to answer, Joe. And here's why. I'm sure it's, even though I'm framing it a little counterintuitively, I'm sure a lot of people will go, yeah, of course, yeah, I should have sleep and rest and blah, blah, blah before I do all these things. Yet, most of us don't end up doing it. So why is it that we don't do it? And the reason I say this is the most important question to answer is because it's important to diagnose what's getting in your way so you know how to address it. This isn't a simple prescription where one size fits all. It really depends on the diagnosis. Now, there are 4 common reasons I see all the time with the people I work with. The first is a mindset of fear and scarcity. And this fear and scarcity, well, at the beginning of the pandemic, scarcity mindset example would have been hoarding toilet paper, that we will run out of toilet paper in the middle of everything else that's going on, right? And so a mindset of scarcity at work, what it looks like is I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not going to meet the bar. And in COVID times, of course, we have the fear of layoffs. If I don't do more, if I don't outperform everybody else, I'm going to be made redundant. So there's this big mindset of scarcity and the fear that fuels this ever-present Energizer Bunny facade that where we're inside, we're exhausted, and now we're making more mistakes, we're less productive, we're not doing the right things. So there's that piece. The second piece is around wanting to really please people and get their approval. So we only look for extrinsic forms of recognition. Now, there's nothing wrong in getting approval, kudos, recognition. But when we're only looking for that, it's sort of like junk food. The more we eat it, the more we crave it, and it's never enough because it's all empty calories. And similarly, if we're just looking for that approval, then I'm going, pick me. I want to be seen as the smartest person in the room. Choose me. I want to be seen as indispensable. It becomes a badge of honor to say, I'm so busy.
And that pleasure producing neuron receptor in our brain is just going wild every time we feel like we're actually recognized for the great things that we're doing. So those quick little hits of productivity pleasure maybe causing us to do more than we ought to be doing.
Yes, and it's that dopamine hit, and it becomes addictive. And now we're getting hyper interested in that feedback. Is Joe smiling or frowning right now? Is that crease over there about the beginning of a smile? Do I need to throw in some more stuff that I'm going to do for him before he cracks open a wider grin? So
Right.
there's that desire to please people, and that hit that keeps on keeping us going versus even questioning whether we're going on the right path.
So a fear of scarcity, that we're not showing up enough or in the best way we possibly could, and a feeling of just utter pleasure in feeling recognized and valued by other people.
Yes.
What else is causing us to do this?
Two other things. A third one could be politics, where I want to out showcase everyone else. And think of this as cookie licking. Imagine you have a platter filled with warm, melting, freshly baked chocolate chip cookies. Ooh, I'm drooling almost at the thought of this.
I'm thinking about it right now, actually, and not paying any attention to what you're saying.
Exactly.
I'm only
There we
thinking
go.
about warm baked chocolate chip cookies.
We've lost our audience already.
Let's take a quick break, everyone. We'll see you in a few minutes. We'll just
yeah, exactly. Let's
cookie licking break.
So yes, so imagine that platter of cookies on the conference room table, and you go in there and you go, I don't want anyone else to have those cookies. I want them all to myself. So you know what? I'm going to go lick every single one of those cookies. Now, of course, no one else is going to touch them. So I said yes to all those juicy cherry projects. My team, me, we're all going to do it. And then, of course, no one can eat that whole platter of cookies.
Right.
No matter how enticing. And so now I'm actually going to disappoint other people, not look great, reduce the trust in me, but in the moment I couldn't help myself. And then the last piece is magical thinking. I don't know about you, but I'm a time fantasizer. So if I have a meeting that gets done, it looks like it's going to get done 15 minutes ahead of time, I've already booked up 2 hours of stuff I think I'm going to do in those extra 15 minutes. Not to mention, hey, maybe I need to get another glass of water or go to the washroom. Oh no, I mean, I've written my next Harvard Business Review article in those 15 minutes in my mind. And so when people present us with problems and ask us to do things, we say, oh, sure, we'll do that. How hard is that going to be? Oh, that's another 5-minute job. Until we find ourselves staring at our to-do list at 10 p.m., only halfway done. Yeah. Because we've indulged in that magical thinking.
So we've identified some of the core problems, either a desire to please people, to do more than we really can, or the fear that drives us to do more than we really should. But what are some things that can help us get back control of our time and actually be the best versions of ourselves that we can be, doing more in less time?
Yeah. Two things, Joe. One is put a time delay vault, put your yeses in a time delay vault.
I like that.
I mean by that is that somebody, let's say you asked me, hey, could you do another episode tomorrow? And I go, wow. And maybe you said, oh, you were so great, Sabina. I'd like to talk to you again tomorrow on another topic. Wow, my ego's all fluffed up. I want to please you. I'm going to say, yes, sure. And you know what? Oh gosh, I'm booked from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So I'll wake up an extra hour and do this. No problem. Immediately. Instead, what if I said, wow, that is so kind of you. I'm really flattered. I need to think about that. Can I get back to you by tomorrow?
Yeah.
And
so acknowledging the offer and even issuing some form of consent, but doing so in a way that buys you more time and still keeps the offer on the table.
Exactly. I find that works with junk food as well. If we,
it'll probably help me eat fewer cookies. That's the truth.
Right. Exactly right. Yeah. Or give your kids more time to finish the cookies. So that
absolutely. I know if I don't get in right away, I'm eating crumbs. That's the truth. And what else can people do to help recapture some of that time?
One other thing they could do is create micro habits, and these are, if you're a yes junkie right now, it's magical thinking to actually think you listen to this podcast or whatever else and immediately become a no advocate and just do less. That's just not going to happen overnight. So that would be another magical thinking. And instead, underachieve to overachieve. And what I mean by that is find a micro way in which to delay things. Find a small habit you're going to do. So if you're going to put your yeses in a time delay vault, maybe you're not even saying, can I get back to you tomorrow? You're just not saying yes right away. Maybe you ask 3 questions. So what is it that you would look for in the second podcast, Joe? What would be most important for you? And by the time I'm understanding that more, I'm formulating a way to think about how I can time delay that. So I'm not delaying it by 24 hours, but by a few seconds. Or a micro habit could be, if I'm actually licking the cookies that my team should be performing, eating, to carry forward the metaphor, perhaps I don't reply to the email right away. I stack up my emails till the end of the day and allow members of my team to say yes when it's actually their job, versus me jumping in and snatching that away from them. All with good intentions, because who isn't burned out right now? And there are many bosses right now who think my team is burned out, so let me jump in and rescue them. And meanwhile, that leaves the team really confused and a lot of collateral damage in its